Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel for that matter. If you are brand new here, thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out this movie review, where today I'm here to talk about a movie that I got an early access to thanks to the awesome people over at Shudder, which is releasing on their platform on February 3rd, and that is a movie called Slapface. The title itself and the official movie poster really got me intrigued, and I was wondering, well, what is this movie all around and why is it called Slapface? So after doing a little bit of research, I found out that the director, Jeremiah Kipp, made a short movie itself called Slapface at around 2017-18 time, and now he's made a feature-length movie. And you can clearly tell that this is a passion project for him, and I actually read up that that was indeed the case. So I definitely admire him for pursuing his goal of creating this project and having this love of maybe some source material behind him to then go about and create this full feature-length movie itself. So the cast of Slapface includes August Maturo, who plays a character called Lucas. We've got Mike Manning, who plays Tom. Libe Barer, if I pronounce that correctly, who plays Anna. Mirabelle Lee, who plays Moriah. We've also got Lukas Hassel, who plays the monster. And we've also got Bianca and Ambrosio, who played the bully girls. Being honest with you, I've never actually heard of any of these cast members, but actually doing a little bit of research before conducting this movie review, I found out that a couple of these actors in the past have appeared in some kind of Disney projects, and they've done maybe some lower end budget movies or some shorts or TV work. So at the end of the day, I always appreciate checking out a project where I don't really know the cast or crew of this, and maybe learning a little bit about them and their backstories and how they maybe got to that point. What is the plot of Slapface? Well, it's essentially around a boy who's called Lucas, who's dealing with the loss of his mother, and in dealing this loss of his mother, creates a dangerous relationship with a monster who's rumoured to be living in the woods. So the premise alone, to me, really got me kind of invested, because I was reading it and I was like, well, okay, so it's definitely going to be a piece that's going to be about maybe some grief, denial, relationships, etc. And the movie certainly delivers on those counts to start with. But I was also intrigued because, without knowing too much about the cast or the plot or anything like that, it certainly had a bit of an older vibe to it about monster movies, but kind of blending in incorporation with a bit of a newer style of kind of horror thriller-esque, and I was really on board for that. So what are my overall positives for Slapface? Well, I can honestly say that most of the acting, for the most part, is good. And I've definitely got to give a big shout out to Libe Barer, who plays Anna in the movie, who is the girlfriend of Mike Manning's character Tom. I felt that for the most part she was believable. She seemed like a really nice person in the movie, and you could really kind of get behind her character because she was just trying to find out a little bit more about Lucas and be a supportive person. At times that definitely falters for sure, but I definitely think that she was one of the standouts in this, and she was kind of one of the supporting characters. Yeah, bit crazy. Now, as I say, none of the acting is terrible in this movie, and definitely the creature design of the monster kind of, I think, will help sell this movie as well, because it's a really cool yet simplistic design. And I think Lukas Hassel has this kind of big, strong demeanor around him where he's kind of like this towering presence as the monster, and I think that really sells the Slapface in general, about the monster that is really kind of haunting these woods and really kind of stalking him and bonds this relationship with Lucas. And there's definitely parts where Lucas' relationship with this monster is played out where you are invested and curious about why that is happening or what is going on with that. And from that part, I actually enjoyed that element. I was curious as to how this relationship was forming, this whole loss that Lucas is going through, where he feels isolated, and his friends are these three girls. Two of them are bullies, and one of them is kind of a bully, but also his girlfriend, so she's kind of playing both parts of this. And these bully girls, I didn't like their characters whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, the two girls that played the part of the bully girls did a fine job in terms of they did the part what they were supposed to do, but I wasn't really too bothered about their characters. And I've also got to admit that one of the biggest positives that I can give this movie as well is the on-set location use of the Hudson Valley. You can just clearly tell by the cinematography and through the forest setting and locations that they really executed and did it perfectly, because really that cinematography that they used was beautiful. Some of the wider shots, and I've got to give a big shout out to Dominic Savilli, if I pronounce that correctly, who was in charge of the cinematography or director of photography. He did a smashing job in terms of just capturing this forest location, and the on-set location wise is beautiful to look at, and it really gives you this kind of creepy, eerie vibe of the woods of where this monster is living. And for that part, I felt like it kind of helped sell the movie. Unfortunately, what I will say in terms of my negatives for this movie. So we've got our main two characters, who is August Maturo and Mike Manning, who plays Lucas and Tom. Now, Tom is the older brother. You learn pretty much very quickly in this movie that the parents did die, so these two brothers are left by themselves in the house, and Tom is going to work to try support for him and his brother. The issue is, though, Tom's character is written to be a complete dick. You just can't really get by him, and when he tries to have a bit of a redemption arc, I wasn't really buying into it. He's done a lot of kind of arsehole moves throughout the rest of this movie, to the point where I didn't care about his character. I was like, far rather than had maybe written these brothers to, yeah, at the end of the day, they're going to be flawed characters. They're definitely going to have elements to them that maybe embrace what their parents were like, or how they're kind of doing with the repercussions of the loss of their parents. Understandable, but I didn't really like his character. As I mentioned, I preferred the supporting character over our male two leads, which, yeah, the movie itself, it had part of it, unfortunately, where I did find myself a little bit bored. Now, the runtime of the movie is 1 hour 24 minutes. So it's not exactly like it's, say, a 2-hour movie and I felt like, all right, it could be trimmed down. But it was 1 hour 24 minutes and I felt like the pacing at parts was good and had you invested, but unfortunately the pacing of it sometimes faltered to really keep my attention 100%. Not one time did I bother to like look on my phone or distracted by that, but I just found myself being like, I wish this movie would move along and progress just that little bit more. But we tend to see some of the same stuff happening, kind of like a rinse repeat in the next scene, and it was just a little bit unfortunate to kind of experience that. So overall, my thoughts with Slapface is, there's elements of it that has good potential and promise for sure. I'm definitely interested in seeing what Jeremiah Kipp could do. Maybe see if he has a bigger budget to produce a next feature. My overall score for Slapface is... So if you've seen the movie yourself, or you're intrigued of checking it out on Shudder on February 3rd, leave your comments below. In the meantime, please give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.